All right, folks, next item I'm going to scrap is, okay, what's this? This is a Workzone water pressure, some sort of water pressure washer, and it is model HCE1400, 1400. HCE1400. Now, Workzone, I believe, is a brand, an Audi brand. First thing we'll do is, that sticker is definitely going to go on my trophy wall. So I'm starting a new trophy wall. I'll just pop that up there. Over the years, I've had a few trophy walls, but this one's a little bit bland. I'm going to have to put a few more on him. And, oh, why not? I'll take this one off as well. At a later point in time, I can always go back and say, this particular item might have been out of this particular model. Just a bit of reference, just a bit of fun more than anything else. Okay, so it's a pressure washer. What I'm looking for here is probably some water fittings, some hose fittings, I should say, and maybe some aluminium, or if it was a high-end model, probably some stainless steel. I'm not expecting too much out of this. These are not a very expensive item to buy, I believe. They're definitely not high-end. All right, so our treasure, or our value that we got out of that pressure washer. Okay, so we ended up getting, okay, first off, the aluminium. There was about 400 grams of aluminium casting and 100 grams of aluminium wire. Now, that's half a kilo. It was a bit more than I thought it was going to be. So there's about $1 worth of aluminium. Now, the aluminium wire, if you look at that, you get like 20 cents for the aluminium wire, 10 cents a bundle. It's worth way more to someone who's making something like a crafter, jewelry maker, whatever, whoever's got a use for aluminium wire, it's got to be worth more than 10 cents. And what you do is you trade with them for something that they don't want, like their scrap material they no longer want. Got some springs, which, you know, I'm not a big reuser of springs. Got a whole heap of random O-rings, including one that decided to go exploring on my very messy workshop floor, which I'm sure I'll find one day. Now, the bolts were 4mm Allen keys with 1 6mm. And I highly recommend that you use a nice big Allen key to crack them first, and then use some sort of ratchet device to get all that thread off. Get them all the way out. Scrap steel, the heavy duty steel. There was the steel of the actual windings of the motor, and basically a center balancing something. I don't even know what that's called. 3 pistons, because it was actually a 3-cylinder, 3-piston compressor, and then just a bit of brass. 2 really long. Well, they're actually plastic screws, but in the old days, you used to call them metal screws and wood screws. So these would be wood screws, but yeah, quite good quality screws. Then seals. Now, any mechanics out there will be screaming, no, don't reuse seals, never reuse seals. And that's actually a valid thing. However, with the seals, if you've got a project and you just don't particularly want to go out and pay for a seal, if you're very careful at getting seals out and they're in good condition, you may be able to reuse them for a project. As long as it's not endangering human life, then yeah, I dare say they'd be okay to reuse. It's good for experimenting with. Now, when it comes to bearings, these, I'm not sure what brand this one is, but all the other bearings are C&U, which is, from what I've managed to work out, is a fairly good quality Chinese bearing. So this one here, I can't get a marking off as to which one it is, but as in what model it is, but it's quite a interesting bearing, and I'm sure I'll find some sort of use in the project. Now, as far as these bearings go, this is a 629Z. How you measure bearings is you measure the outer diameter and then the inner diameter, and they're the two that actually people are interested in. Now, I haven't measured these. This one is a 6203 R9 or R9 or RS. I think it's an RS. But basically, if you're needing a bearing, this is still in very, very good nick. And then we've got these two bearings. Now, these are 608s, and 608 bearings, which you find very, very commonly on the actual rotor of a motor. What you'll find is that they're the same as skateboard bearings. So if you've got a teenager that's annoying you new bearings for their skateboard, this is a very cheap way to get skateboard bearings. However, you will need, I believe, 8 of them all up. So yeah, they're worth putting aside and for emergencies. And teenagers tend to want things now. So if you really wanted to, you know, dip into the workshop drawer and get some bearings out, I'm sure the teenager would appreciate that. Okay, so not a bad gear, but I'm not too sure whether that'd be reusable or not. Probably more useful is, I got a friend of mine who does artistic sculptures, quite a bit in steampunk, and I'm sure that'll end up being used in something along the lines of some sort of wall art or decoration. Okay, so that's what you're getting out of there. And oh, by the way, there is a little, this is actually genuine copper wire, although it's going to be a pain to get out of there, but then there's not a hell of a lot of it, but there's enough there to make it worth your while. Workzone HCE1400. Okay, thanks guys, and I'll catch you next video.